Hey guys, Angus here, another Airsoft video for you guys today. We've got obviously another video review giving you guys a backwards view of the product there. Now today's review is going to be the Maxpedition Roly Extreme Tactical Backpack, obviously in tan or khaki. This is a pretty cool, innovative backpack, and if you're interested in picking it up after you watch the review, there'll be a link down below in the description to Maxpedition's website where you can pick it up for, I believe, about $90. Now with that being said, let's go ahead, hop right into the review of the backpack. Alright, now like all the gear reviews we do on this channel, let's start off by discussing the backpack's construction and the overall quality and feel of it. Now, I reviewed a couple Maxpedition products over the past couple days, and I can say the exact same thing about this backpack that I've said for the other ones, and that's that it's of very high quality as far as construction goes. It's made of a nice quality material, nothing really cheap about it. It's not like it's going to get wet and fall apart or pieces are going to start coming off like that. Everything on here, from the straps to the zippers to the zipper pulls, which I've had issues with in the past, to the actual backpack itself, are made very, very well. It's made of a high quality material. It's not like it's going to tear very easily. Overall, very solid. One thing I have to gripe about as far as construction goes is that the backpack itself feels pretty flimsy and thin. You hear that kind of crinkly feel to it, and there's a reason for that, which we'll explain later in the video. But personally, to me, I don't like that because I like a thicker, heavier backpack as opposed to a thin little light, scrunchy one. The coloring looks great on it. It's a nice khaki or tan, and the browner straps go very well with it. So overall, the coloring looks nice, and the backpack itself is made very well. Now, as far as compartments on here go, there are two located here on the front lower half. One thing to note externally before we open up the actual compartments, you get a big patch of Velcro here that you can go ahead, put some of those larger patches on, or just your ID patch or anything like that. It's nice. They give you that little Velcro area to customize the backpack a little bit. As far as the actual compartments go, we do have a larger one in the back here, which we'll unzip in a second, as well as a smaller one up front. Now when you go ahead and unzip that, the space in here is decent. This is probably where you're going to put some small items, maybe some documents, anything like that inside there, as it's a thin but fairly deep pouch. Now the larger one in the back is relatively spacious, provided you don't have anything really cramping up the back there. You can probably store some larger items in here, maybe some bottles or bags of BBs or something like that. You've got a large open area here, as well as a small extra pocket towards the front of the pouch if you wanted to divide something from the rest of the main compartment. These two front compartments are very nice. Like I said, the zippers are good quality as well, holding in place rather well with my experience with this stuff. However, the back compartment, which we'll take a look in just a second, when filled can push forward as you see it is now and actually prevent you from really using these because it's so tight against it. So you do get the two front pouches, but keep in mind they might get filled up if you store too much in the back. There is another upper compartment located just above the two compartments we just took a look at, and this one is a little bit smaller. Whenever I run a backpack like this with one of those pouches, I usually use it for cameras or small things like that. You'll notice you got another Velcro strip here for additional customization of the pack, and if you were to unzip the actual compartment, you would find once again a relatively spacious interior that you could use to store something probably not as large as a bottle of BBs, but something somewhat smaller. Alright, now discussing the main compartment of the Roly Extreme. This is obviously the most spacious one there. It's where you're going to store the majority of your stuff, all the big important stuff you're carrying during your Airsoft games, your hiking, camping, whatever you're doing with this backpack. It does have two spaces in here. There is a flimsy divider in here which could cut the compartment into two places. Just keep in mind, once again, if you were to overstuff the front area, the back half of the divider therefore would just be pushed out and flattened, so you couldn't use that space at all. But just to give you an idea of the spaciousness of this in here would be, we've got a whole ghillie suit in there right now just to give this backpack a little bit of puff for the video. So there is plenty of space in here for you to store things that you might need during an Airsoft game. I could say you could certainly use this backpack during an op if you wanted to hold all your materials in there. And overall, the main compartment of this, which we're taking a look at right now, certainly is spacious and it'll get the job done like really any backpack. Also tucked inside of the main compartment, you'll find kind of a, this is more your ID style pouch, one with a zipper seal inside there that you can go ahead, store some fairly small items in there, maybe your wallet, credit cards, driver's license, whatever you want to. It's nice they give you that little sort of ID pouch tucked inside the main compartment where it's not directly exposed. Alright, so why do they call it the roly-poly backpack, getting down to kind of the meat of the name, so to speak, and also why I hinted at that flimsy material earlier? Well, the reason for that is because, well, you can roll this thing up, hence roly-poly, and make it a little bit more convenient for storage. And in order to do that, it's very simple. You literally roll the bag up. Simply go ahead, roll it like so, and then you take the large flap in the back, stretch it over, and connect it to the Velcro up front. And at that point, you've got a much smaller backpack for storage purposes, and this is certainly convenient if you've got a lot of crap like I do, and also if you're crammed in a packed car going to an airsoft game somewhere. So the roly-poly feature certainly is practical on this pack. Alright, now one last little thing. What about the comfort of this backpack when I'm wearing it? Overall, to me personally, it feels like a comfortable pack. It's very soft, nothing jagged, plastic anywhere poking me in the back. Something to note and complain about would be the straps do feel a little flimsy and light for my personal preference, but really they're solid and they're going to hold up relatively well, even if they're not the most comfortable things in the world to me. Now, as far as the final conclusion of this review goes, personally, I would highly recommend the roly-poly backpack. I think I am going to hang on to this and certainly use it with my tan loadouts for some games out there. I believe it could work as, a day-long game, maybe just a regular op-style backpack, but as far as a couple days go, I would recommend probably something with a little bit more storage space than the roly-poly extreme backpack that I'm currently wearing. As far as compartments go, it is fairly spacious. You get a whole bunch of different compartments there. The Velcro is always nice. You can go ahead and customize your bag a little bit, put your name on it so people don't accidentally mistakenly pick it up. The roly-poly feature is really cool and innovative. Someone like me who's got so much airsoft stuff, it's nice to have something that's very easy to store with that feature. So overall, the Roly-Poly Extreme Backpack is a high-quality, well-made backpack with a nice, innovative ability to store very easily. A couple cons as far as comfort and, flimsiness go, but otherwise, I think it's a solid pack. If you're interested in taking a look at it, check out the link in the description. And thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe.